Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Jamaica News in Review. 4 dead, 1 hospitalized in Spanish Town shooting. Gunmen last night killed 4 people and injured another along Railway Lane in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. Dead are 21-year-old Nicardo Moore, otherwise called Blacks, of Railway Lane, 21-year-old Kurt Bennett, otherwise called Mickey, of Railway Lane, 34-year-old Desmond Brumfield, alias Pepito, elder Sidepen in Spanish Town, 38-year-old Horace Letman, a teller of Oxford Road in Spanish Town. The police report that about 7:30 p.m., the men were along the road when they were pounced upon by armed men who opened gunfire. The attackers then fled. The police were alerted on their arrival. All 5 men were taken to hospital, where 4 were pronounced dead and the 5th admitted in stable condition. District Constable killed in Portland crash. A district constable died as a result of injuries he sustained in a crash on the Orange Bay Main Road in Portland on Sunday night. The deceased has been identified as 25-year-old Romar Steele, otherwise called Shav, assigned to the Portland Police Division. Preliminary reports are that sometime before 9 p.m., Steele lost control of a Honda Civic motor car and collided into a utility pole. Firefighters were called to remove him from the mangled vehicle. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Discovery Bay All-Age School mourns passing of teacher Dolores McFarlane. The Discovery Bay All-Age School in St. Anne is in mourning following the death of teacher Dolores McFarlane. McFarlane died on Sunday after a brief battle with cancer. She taught grade 1 at the institution over 10 years and became ill in January and took sick leave. Principal Marcella Shawbrand says she is heartbroken by the passing of McFarlane. What makes the heartbreak even more severe is the fact that the second child for McFarlane will be sitting a primary exit profile pep test for grade 5 students this week. The principal reported that the late educator was warm, supportive, and industrious. We have certainly lost a gem at Discovery Bay. Her moral standards that she held, she demonstrated the core value of the school. I'm at a loss for words, honestly, because she was one of those who I considered my friend. Before I rose to the rank of principal, she was one of my blossom buddies, Shaw Bryant stated. She added, we had a very close relationship. There was never a dull moment with her. I used to laugh. She was the life of the party, and because of the type of the personality she has, you could be drawn to her. Burnt remains believed to be of missing senior citizen found in bushes. Burnt human remains were today found in bushes along the Content Main Road in the community of Cavalier in St. Andrew. The body is believed to be that of 77-year-old Derek Lindsay, who went missing on Saturday. The police are theorizing that a relative of the deceased committed the killing and dumped his body in the bushes. The male relative is being sought by the police. Woman dies after being hit by a car in St. James. A woman who died after being hit along the Rose Hall Main Road in St. James early this morning. The deceased has been identified as Angela Somerville Palmer of a Flower Hill address in the parish. The police report that about 2:30 a.m., the woman was standing along the roadway in the Coral Gardens area when the driver of a Toyota Mark X motor car, who was heading from the direction of Falmouth, lost control of the vehicle and hit Somerville Palmer. She sustained multiple injuries and was rushed to the Conner Regional Hospital where she was pronounced dead. She is the 5th person to be killed in a motor vehicle accident across western Jamaica over the past 48 hours. St. James wanted man captured. A St. James wanted man who escaped police custody has been captured. The police say Terence Powell, otherwise called Bobo, was held on Saturday during a targeted operation in Granville in the parish. Powell previously escaped police custody after being held for illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. He was apprehended by personnel attached to the Joint Anti-Gang Task Force and was handed over to the Montego Bay Criminal Investigations Branch. Powell is expected to be charged for shooting with intent and illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. DJ's brother thankful after surviving gun attack. Reno, the brother of dancehall artist Shano, was one of 9 people who were shot during an attack by gunmen on Dunmar Close, St. Andrew in late May. 9 persons were shot, 1 fatally, when gunmen opened fire on the group that was gambling in the community. The dead man was identified as Sanjay Cousins, 32, an unemployed resident of Ambrook Lane in Kingston 10. He was pronounced dead at hospital after being shot in the head, chest, and both hands. The other 8 people were admitted, however, several have since been released. Rano, who says he is a part of Shane's O promotional team, said he was shot in both feet, his right hand and thigh. He said he is thankful for being alive because he could have been killed. Medeaso, don't. You can't call me and talk to me, don't, he said. Recalling the incident, Rena said it took everyone by surprise. He said when the shooting began, everyone started running in different directions. He said from what he heard, the gunman came for one specific person. It was reported that about 12:20 p.m., the 9 were among a group of people gambling at the premises when they were accosted by gunmen who opened fire. When the shooting ended and the gunmen fled, it was discovered that 9 were injured. They were rushed to hospital where Cousins was pronounced dead. Rastallane tense after triple murder. The Rastallane community at 8 Miles Bull Bay, St. Andrew, is still tense following a triple murder committed in the wee hours on Sunday. Police report that about 12:10 a.m., Kevin Bonfield, 26, otherwise called Killy, of Whitehorse St. Thomas, Orville Hermit, 29, otherwise called Mr. Bean, of Pleasant View, Bull Bay, and Earl Jackson, 54, otherwise called Presley, of Pleasant View, Bull Bay, were approached by a group of armed men who shot them. Police arrived at the scene and found the men on the ground. They were taken to hospital where they were pronounced dead. Head of the Kingston Eastern Police Division Superintendent Tommy Lee Chambers told reporters that investigators have not yet indicated a motive for the murders. We are still carrying out our investigations, but based on what we are picking up, it's the gang warfare of the 7 Miles and 8 Miles gangs in the area, but we want to be sure, said Chambers. Based on the feedback I am getting, the area is a little tense because nobody knows what to expect, and when you're not sure what caused the situation, persons are going to be on the lookout. We have police presence in and around the area, she said. In the meantime, the police are appealing to anyone with information on the murders to contact the Elliston Road Criminal Investigations Branch at 876-928-4200, Crime Stop at 311, or the Police 119 emergency number. Tivoli Gardens principal remains in hospital after fainting. Principal of Tivoli Gardens High School in Kingston, Marvin Johnson, remains hospitalized after fainting yesterday following an incident between a teacher and a student. Senior Superintendent Michael Phillips of the Kingston Western Police says investigators intend to meet with Johnson after he recuperates. The allegation between the student and the teacher happened about 11 a.m. The 16-year-old is accused of assaulting the 56-year-old teacher. The incident was captured on video, which has gone viral. The teen has since been charged with assaulting occasionally bodily harm and is scheduled to appear in court on June 21. At this point, Phillips said no charge has been laid against the teacher. Johnson fainted after news of the incident emerged. Bus driver killed near police station in St. James. A bus driver who plies the Cambridge route in St. James has been fatally shot just days after a taxi driver was shot and injured almost at the same location. The deceased has been identified as Stanley. Preliminary reports are that the driver was getting passengers when he was shot. The incident occurred on Fish Lane, just a few meters from the Barnett Street police station. Stanley was rushed to hospital where he later died. The police were processing the scene. Body found in Eltham View, Spanish Town. A dead body was discovered in the Eltham View area of Spanish Town, St. Catherine on Tuesday morning. Residents believe the body to be that of Michael Clark of an Eltham View address. Video clips have emerged of the grisly discovery this morning. 15-year-old Camperdown schoolgirl held with gun. A 15-year-old Camperdown high school girl was detained by police Monday after a firearm was found in her school bag. Police say the teen was detained after a vehicle she was in was stopped and searched, and the firearm, a 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 11 9mm rounds of ammunition, was found. The driver of the vehicle has also been taken into custody, while another man who was traveling with them fled from the police and is being sought. Reports reaching reporters are that about 4:30 p.m., members of the Joint Anti-Gang Task Force were conducting a spot check at the intersection of Windward Road and Mountain View Avenue. During the check, it is understood a Toyota Wish motor car was signaled to stop. The driver complied, but a man immediately ran from the vehicle. The motor car, along with its occupants, was subsequently searched and the firearm was found in the teen's bag. She and the driver were taken into custody. Up to publication time, they had not been charged. Elderly man chopped to death, suspect in custody. An elderly man was chopped to death in Morgan's Bridge on Mint Road in Westmoreland on Monday afternoon. He has been identified as 60-year-old Dalbert Stepper Jolly. Reports from the Morgan's Bridge police are that about 4 p.m., Jolly and another man had a dispute when Jolly brandished a machete. The man managed to disarm him and used the machete to chop him several times. The police were summoned, and on their arrival, Jolly's body was seen at the rear of a building. He was suffering from chop wounds. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. The other man is in police custody. The officer in charge of operations for the Westmoreland Police Division, Deputy Superintendent Adrian Hamilton, told reporters that the suspect has not been charged as the police are still carrying out investigations. Alleged King Valley gangster Tupac killed in Grange Hill. Copeland Sankey, otherwise called Tupac, one of the 6 alleged members of the Westmoreland-based Kings Valley Gang, who were freed of gang charges in July 2020, was on Tuesday morning shot and killed in Grange Hill in the parish. According to information reaching reporters, Sankey, supposedly a farmer, and 2 others were among a group of armed men aboard a motor vehicle in the Corner community in search of a man known as Big Youth after 5 in the morning. According to sources, upon reaching the Corner community, the men kicked open the door to the dwelling in search of their rival but did not find him. In traveling along a Canefield road on the way from the Corners community, the vehicle with Sankey aboard was ambushed by a group of armed men who opened fire and shootout ensued. The driver of the vehicle with Sankey, who was injured in the shooting, sped away into the Savannah Lamar Public General Hospital, where Sankey was pronounced dead upon arrival at 6:01 a.m. A search for Sankey's person was conducted where 18 live 9mm and 14 live 5.56 cartridges were found. A subsequent search was then conducted of the motor vehicle and 1 black 9mm pistol with an empty magazine was found. The 2 men that were aboard the vehicle with Sankey, who were also shot and injured in the melee, have been arrested on reasonable suspicion of illegal possession of firearm and placed under police guard. Tupac, along with 5 others, had been charged in an indictment containing 11 counts on suspicion of being part of a criminal organization, providing benefits to a criminal organization, and conspiring to commit murder, rape, and robbery with aggravation from as early as 2013. The men had been in custody since October 2018, but were freed after trial judge Chief Justice declared that no guilty citing and any presence of support of evidence given by the star prosecution witness as a huge deciding factor. The star witness over several days at the start of the trial in January, when he testified via live video link from an undisclosed location, told the court that the alleged gang members, including himself, were involved in the deadly lottery scamming scheme, committing murders and rapes in the course of robberies, and were also murderers for hire. The witness said he had, in 2018, handed himself over to the police and decided to give evidence against them after they killed 7 of his own family members, including his father, aunt, 2 uncles and cousin, his sister and an in-law, in seeking to pull him out of hiding. Laborer found with bullet wounds in Pleasant Hill, St. Mary. A 47-year-old laborer has become the latest murder victim in St. Mary when his body was found with bullet wounds at his home in the community of Pleasant Hill near Anatole Bay on Monday, June 6. The deceased has been identified as Kinsley Brown. According to reports, residents became suspicious after not seeing Brown in the community since Saturday. On Monday at about 11 a.m., residents went to the house where Brown's body was discovered on the floor in a pool of blood. The police were alerted, and the body was later removed to the morgue. Investigations are ongoing, the police stated. A total of 21 people have been killed in St. Mary since the start of the year. Police actively pursuing investigation into Shabdan. Deputy Commissioner of Police Fitz Bailey says the police are actively pursuing an investigation into popular dancehall producer Linval Shabdan Thompson Jr. Shabdan was freed of gun charges in April, was arrested again on Friday, June 3rd by the Joint Anti-Gang Task Force following an operation in St. Catherine South. Law enforcers say the producer is a person of interest in a triple murder which occurred in Rose Heights, St. James on May 25th. In the Jamaica Constabulary Force's monthly press conference held on Tuesday, DCP Bailey revealed that the police have adequate evidence against Shabdan, which led to his arrest last week. The top cop said the producer will be interviewed in short order and the proper course of justice meted out as a result. I know that he will be interviewed, and I can't comment any further on that, but the evidence that we have has implicated him, and whatever action that needs to be taken will be taken after. Shabdan remains in police custody, but his lawyer, Donahue Martin, has disclosed that the legal term intends to submit a bail application. Thieves spray paint cameras, steal $8 million from Western Union in St. Mary. Thieves made off with almost $8 million in Jamaican and foreign currencies after breaking into a Western Union outlet in Aracabessa, St. Mary on Tuesday morning. The culprits reportedly spray painted the CCTV cameras and pried the grill to the outlet before making off with a vault containing the cash, police stated. The stolen money consists of $6,442,146 Jamaican dollar and 5,935 US, 700 C, 1,720 pounds sterling, and euro $670. Superintendent Bobbitt Morgan Simpson, the commanding officer for the St. Mary Police, said the robbers were fully masked. It was well planned and well executed, so we have no idea who these persons are, Superintendent Morgan Simpson told reporters. The police reported that Monday evening, the outlet supervisor checked the day's transaction, placed the money in a vault, locked it and the business place, and went home. About 3:28 a.m., the Hawaii Security Response Team received an alarm from Western Union, went to the location and observed that the grills to the building were pried. The police were summoned, and it was observed that the robbers spray paint the CCTV cameras on the building with black paint. The police discovered that the robbers pried the grills that led to the upstairs of the building where the Western Union is located, and also the grill at the entrance of the outlet. The robbers then entered, ransacked the outlet, and stole the vault containing the cash. Tivoli Gardens High School student charged after fighting with senior teacher. A 16-year-old student at the Tivoli Gardens High School in Kingston has been charged with assaulting a 56-year-old teacher at the institution yesterday. The student was charged after he and the senior teacher got into a fight. He is charged with assault occasioning bodily harm. A video of the altercation has been posted on social media. According to the police report, the teacher was conducting her class when the accused student entered and began behaving boisterously. The report said the teacher asked him to leave, but he refused. This led to a physical confrontation, causing bruises and swelling to the teacher's face, upper body, and breast. Commanding officer of the Kingston Western Division, Senior Superintendent Michael Phillips, said the police have several concerns at Tivoli Gardens High and are trying to schedule a meeting with the principal, but it has not yet materialized. We're having some issues at various schools in the division and have been met with most principals and are working together to iron out the issues, SSP Phillips stated. In the video, the student is seen pushing the teacher in front of the chalkboard. The teacher goes and takes up a desk, which was taken from her and thrown aside by the student. Amidst laughter and cheering from other students in the classroom, the teacher and the student draped each other. This was when several of the male students intervened and attempted to part the altercation. One of the male students who parted the fight was heard telling the one who draped the teacher to let her go. Another went behind him and attempted to pull him away. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.